Welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News. BTC still the same price, friends, $115,000. We're going to speak about a couple of PulseChain secret updates. Arthur Gaze, our favorite gay bear. We're going to have a quote from Binance CZ. Is Cointelegraph still being euphoric over Saylor? We've got Michael Saylor. Did he really hint at buying more BTC? All of that coming your way and plenty more action as well, BTC friends. Still $115,000. We have literally been here like 5 days in a row. Friendly reminder, right? We did continue the US Fed trajectory, and now they're going to be cutting rates, and everything's going to be pushing on towards that. You know, even before we get into the crux of stuff, friends, I'm going to show you this very quick chart, just so everyone who's at home out here, and you don't have to be at home, friends. You can be in other people's homes too. If we're looking at the crypto cycle, the business cycle as a whole, the charts of correlation are undeniable here. Look at this. This is the ISM. This is our business cycle. See how it's literally moved down. This is since 2021, the past 4 years, right? It moved down and it's literally gone nowhere. Look what the red line is, friends. That is the US 2-year bond yield. And what they've done is it's actually inverted. If you look at the right-hand side, see it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Actually go up, it goes down. Pretty much why they do that is just to show you, like when they, so basically this is the bond price, right? So when they hike rates, everything comes down here. When they cut rates, it should go back up. So you can see, right, it all moves in the same way. Now, you might say, but Somi, that means all they have to do is cut rates and they're going to give us the big gold season. Yes and no, Habibi Albi. Keep it family friendly. Interest rates are a reflection of what the economy kind of needs based off inflation and jobs and everything out here, okay? I know it looks like, I know, friends, I know it's very confusing. It took me like 5 years to truly understand this, okay? I'm not even joking. People think, we all think, oh, the US Fed, right? If they just cut rates, they like press the on button. Yeah, it doesn't work like that, friends. And you know, logically, you go, okay, why don't you just cut rates to like negative 10% and then we're all like euphoric for the rest of our lives until we die and everybody gets rich. You know that something's wrong with that picture, right? But they do what's appropriate for the economy, okay? So the business cycle's down here. So what would happen is as the business cycle gets a bit of flair, okay, things will be loose. They basically follow each other, okay? It's interesting phenomena of how these things work. You know, that's why, friends, economists, they can kind of predict stuff in the future, but it depends on what the market expectation is, okay? I really wanted to show you that. Also, look at the Bitcoin pricing. Don't worry, I'll show you this again later, but this is ISM with the Bitcoin pricing implied. You see this, friends? It's literally the month-on-month change. You see how everything, it follows itself. It follows together, yeah? And obviously, altcoins are like extremely correlated. Remember, Bitcoin, friends, Bitcoin follows global M2. It's 89% correlation. The altcoins follow that ISM, okay? Which pretty much means we're all in one cycle, okay? When we feel good, when people feel good, you know, they buy more hair shampoo, they buy more squeaky chairs, right? They get an upgrade to their car. Maybe they want to put like an orange juice fridge inside. Okay, everybody does the same thing. And what correlates to that is people want to buy more altcoins. They want to invest. It basically means they want to go further out the risk curve. You know, where they're like, oh, I've got an extra $5,000 from my company this month. I wonder what I can buy. You know, that's what ends up happening. Yeah, we all do it at the same time. And then we all tighten our belt at the same time, okay? So the crypto markets, right, we're all waiting for Ethereum to stop being racist, anti-Semitic, bigoted, and transphobic. Here is Ethereum as well, 4,400, 4,500. We're still waiting and waiting and waiting. We have ETH-BTC still at a shockingly anti-Semitic price. This is very anti-Semitic right now, 0.038, but it is what it is. We know these friends, we took huge damage on the monthly chart for ETH-BTC as well. We are now, remember, I know, friends, look, it's just, I don't know how this is all going to resolve, but all right, we have been running for the longest in history as well already. These are 6-month candles of Bitcoin, okay? We have been running for the longest in history on one hand. On the other hand, I showed you the business ISM. We haven't got started, bro. Nothing's heated. You know, nothing's heated at all. Not even remotely heated. You know, what people do, as soon as you say that, some people say, oh no, look at this. Look at, you got to remember, okay, most people are talking their book. And you know what? I'm long, but I'm telling you now, when you hear people saying, how can you not say things are not heated? We just saw Saylor and streamer coins and PumpFun. Friends, what you actually do, friends, get your nose, start sniffing their chairs. What you actually find, a lot of the people who are talking like that, they're also talking their book. they will have anywhere from 30 to 70% of their portfolio in stablecoins. Yeah, they're bearish. They want to buy dips. They want to buy like a big crash. Yeah, I used to think that these people were geniuses. I used to think that, but they're actually not. They're just as clueless as everybody else. They're just talking their book. But friends, you got to understand, a lot of people, they don't stick their neck out for no reason, Charlie Kirk style. They don't come out and say, hello, I am a 70% stablecoin cuck right now. Come and basically point fingers at me if I'm wrong. No one says that. Because they care about reputation and ego. I don't give a shit. I literally don't give a shit. I could not give a... who are you, bro? You don't put food on my table, okay? You don't cuddle me to sleep. You don't wipe my bum. I don't even wipe my bum. So you're definitely not wiping my bum. So you understand these people? They're just talking their books. No one knows. Literally nobody knows. I can tell you right now, we're not overheated at all. I just showed you the business cycle. Okay, does it look overheated? Friends, we literally just had an economy last year where they lied to us, the government, with like the 50,000th lie. They said, oh, we made 1 million more jobs. No, we didn't. It's a bunch of baloney. The interest rates are too high. Hopefully the interest rates coming down. They continue to come down and we get major loser power out so we can cut rates and basically send the world economy into a spin. This is the racist... Now, friends, this was a family-friendly box of Ethereum. Now you're also anti-Semitic. Friends, this is very anti-Semitic box now. Can you believe we're expecting... I mean, like, bro, can you just go up and look what it does? Nah, just go sideways. Just... What do you do? You know, what do you do? For everyone out there, I'm almost like shocked, friends, how much I've got to like repeat these things, but it's okay. I will. Like, for all friends and family... Just, I know the friends, because you remember, everybody's trading off feeling. Everyone, okay? For friends and family, everyone out there, just because I am joking and we're having fun about how terrible it is and how bad it is and things suck and stuff, remember, it's a reflection of our emotions, but we don't invest based off our emotions. We take a long-term view, you know? For example, okay, let's say you got a 10-year-old daughter. She comes home, she does a test, out of 100, she gets 60. And it's an English test. Okay, are you going to say, you know what? Well, you're sleeping on the street tonight. What a waste of school fees that was. You're not going to tell your daughter that. You're just going to give up. No. You might feel bad. You might feel upset. You're not going to put your daughter out to sleep. But yeah, it's exactly how we treat these with investments. You think, okay, well, think about the long term. Think about improvements. All right. If we treat our investments more like that, I know it's also, can we really? Look, yeah, crypto friends, it is. We're investing in networks in the future. They are digital networks. They are investments. But yeah, a lot of the time it doesn't feel like investments. You know, it feels like you're investing with a couple of other, you know, drug-fueled, binge-wanting trolls who are literally just partying, homeless, with, you know, basically all we've got those fingerless gloves, and we're just rubbing our feet with a barrel of fire. That's what it feels like, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like an actual investment. But, you know, that's how you know you're early. Okay, Bitcoin didn't feel like an investment at $100. It felt like it was a tool for basically the cartel to launder money around the world. So I'm going to stick with it. Yes, I want it to happen a lot earlier. So did everybody else. You know, it doesn't mean you give up on stuff, right? These things just take longer than expected. Maybe this is how the story has to go, right? Maybe there's just a lot of jeets out here who just had to get out. Speaking of jeets, friends, as well, you know, I cover for you PumpFun all the time just to show you the token. Friends, look, some people get upset. I don't give a shit about you, but go follow someone else. I don't give a crap, okay? When something has big mind share, I want to cover, am I missing out on something big, or is basically you just have a lot of people offside who are basically talking up their book. I always want to assess these, right? With PumpFun, obviously, everybody's just talking up the book. Friends, you see this box? Do you see this box? This box is, they wasted $100 million. Okay? They've wasted 100 min on buybacks already. So a lot of people in PulseChain, for example, yeah, they get frustrated. We all get frustrated. They're like, oh, why doesn't Richard come and pump it? This is why, bro. You want to see why? Because it's not ready yet. Friends, they literally bought back $100 million of their token out of peer pressure. Do you know that? Out of literally peer pressure, it's fading off already. Binance ASTER's already taken away the mindshare. So pretty much what they've actually done is friends, this is literally your friend Tommy, aka me, aka the person in the mirror looking back at me. I've literally been saying this. If you pump your coin early, firstly, you never go as far as you want, anywhere near, number one. And number two, the money you put into the token or the community, it ends up being used for other trash. Okay? They take profit in your thing and they go get something else. if you're the only coin moving, all right? And this is exactly what's happening. People are already doing this. Do you want to know why, friends? I mean, like, it's very, very simple. Yeah, if you have 10 tokens, okay, let's actually do this. You have each of these lines is a token, right? A token. If you're like, if this is PulseChain and then your token does a freaking 10x, right? Your token's done a 10x. What do people do straight away? They dump the crap out of these and they go rotate to everything else. Like, oh, these things happen. That actually ends up happening. So basically what the market does is naturally people see your token as expensive. Okay. So what you have to do is wait. You wait. Maybe Bitcoin's 200K. Maybe Ethereum's 10K. I don't know what the number is, but in those moments, there are probably like 100 coins that have done 50 and 100 X's. And maybe we've seen Doge hit $1. Maybe we've seen a meme coin hit 100 billion market cap, Doge. So if Doge is at $1, people seeing PulseChain go up 10x, now it's worth 7 billion market cap, for example, they're not saying you're expensive. They're saying, oh, you're 7 billion market cap. I wonder if you can get to 50 billion. That's how they're thinking, okay? Right now, if you pump PulseChain 10x and we get to like 7 billion market cap or 20 or 30 billion for the ecosystem, what people say is, this is what the mind of the market says. They go, well, how are you half of Solana's market cap when you have nowhere near their mind share? You're expensive. That's how people think, right? They're thinking smart right now, okay? You got to, if the longer you wait, the more you have people thinking with their emotions, which pretty much means price discovery on the way up, okay? That's what we're waiting for. I know it's frustrating for me, friends. Of course, like, no one wants this stuff to go up more than me. I did not think we we're going to have 34 months in the pooper. What else can we do, man? You know, it is what it is. Let me just show you PulseChain prices as well. By the way, this is the same with every coin, friends. Here are PulseChain core coin prices. This is a 24-hour read. So we have pDAI up near 5%, BNB-btc 2%. We have nothing else pretty much going on. Oh, Inc is exactly 1.337, like leaked. Also, friends, what I've noticed, this is actually very funny. Binance's BUSD is up $1.12. I don't even know why. Maybe it's because people are just, maybe they are emergency buying this for Binance ASTER, so they can go in. They don't care. Well, that's wild, man. Like, something's breaking. So yeah, just having a quick peek at it, just having a quick look. Yeah, so just as a further clarification, friends, if you're at home, you're confused. Hey, how does a stablecoin go above $1? Well, remember, there's people who are providing liquidity, right? But there are times where, for example, DAI, you know, Ethereum DAI, it went above $1. It went to like $1.10 during zombie virus. Why is that? Because in a very fast amount of time, if a lot of people demand the token, if they're desperate, they don't care if they have to pay $1.05 for something that's worth $1. Why? Because they need the money right now. So what ended up happening was during the zombie virus, all the prices had dropped 50% within like this 48-hour period. Okay, and because the price dropped so much, people have their loans and their debt, they're going to get liquidated. So what they had to do is they had to sell a lot of things. Remember, they have to repay it in DAI. Yeah, so they would sell stuff just to get the DAI. And then they would send it into the MakerDAO protocol and they would save their liquidation. So they don't care if they're paying $1.05, because if they don't, they lose their whole position. With ASTER, I'm not even sure why, because it's from Binance ASTER. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it's funny to see these things happen. Cracking on with some news, friends. I'll be making another full video on this, but I'll give you some hints, right? So PulseChain, there's been some secret wallet activity for pDAI. Okay, secret wallet activity. Very big news, friends. Do you remember the Vietnamese kid with the big fat dong? Okay, the Vietnamese kid with the big dong. Well, the wallet 5996, it's done transactions on a secret PulseChain layer 2 chain, Arbitrum. Now, the reason why we can't see it is because nobody has built or made an explorer so we can see what's actually going on the chain. I don't even know how people were able to really see it. Maybe they could see it on the PulseChain side. So the PulseChain side posts to something. It's just that you can't go connect to the other side to see it. Okay. I guess it will be like if you like you sent a letter from your home. Let's say you sent a letter to somebody in Spain. Somebody could see the outgoing message. They're like, oh, the message is sent for somebody in Spain, but you're not in Spain to actually see it. Shout out to all my Spanish baby dolls out there. And yes, this is a huge update to the pDAI narrative. There's a thing called Exodus, friends. I'll be making a full video on this. PulseChain Pioneers. So in a nutshell, because it's quite technical and things out here. But in a nutshell, I don't understand it fully. Basically, I don't even want to say it like this because I don't like talking about big things, I guess, are happening. There are a lot of protocols on PulseChain, the PComp, PRV, I don't know all the thingamajigs, okay? They have debt. Their debt is pDAI, okay? Because it's a full system fork. Their debt is pDAI. Once the switch is flipped, these things, they have to buy pDAI, okay? Which we ran it through ChatGPT, and basically ChatGPT, I know it's ChatGPT, you know what I mean? Like it's AI, it's doing its best, but it estimated in these two phases, the first thing can bring it up towards a cent, and then once the next phase of MakerDAO can restart, it brings it up between like 5 to 10 cents, and it will have like this big move up. And then basically it's interesting, right? We've never seen anything like this happen before. We've never, this mechanism of what it is. So if I was to just generally summarize what I think is happening, we'll go through more of it later, remember? Somebody using privacy technology, we don't know who it is, PulseChain Pioneers, they can load the incentive vaults on PulseChain for these protocols. So they can put basically a lump of money here in a contract, and this lump of money conceptually will pay any bot or wallet that starts to arbitrage pDAI with the other stablecoins and bring it closer to $1, right? So it's kind of like, I'll just give you an example. Let's say you're building a bridge out of your city, and then basically, let's say I had a vault and I put like $100 million in a vault, but the vault only pays you out. Let's say you laid a brick, you took a photo of your brick, and then you take the photo that you laid your brick, you go put it in this machine, and the machine says, oh, you laid a new brick, here's some money. So you basically, it's very a good metaphor just made up, right? It's like you're connecting to the outside world with your bridge, one brick at a time, but every time you do it, you're like getting paid for it. Okay, now you might say, but Somi, who's going to load the money? Don't know, bro. Friends, you just watched Charlie Kirk get popped for starting to question Israel. Starting, okay? We don't live in a world where you can just say stuff, have a big following, and people don't notice. Do you understand? So we don't know what's going on. It doesn't take a genius to figure out. You know what I mean? But there's no trace. There's no trace of these, okay? So money can just appear out of nowhere, and it will be like, who's funding this, right? It doesn't matter. You see, it's loaded by Railgun technology, okay? So, of course, when I heard this, I'm like, when moon? Don't know, friends, don't know. All I can say is, I'm still holding. I don't know when moon. My nipples are pegged. Oh, it'd be great if this works out. Oh, it'd be so great. Also, friends, I've got more news. So Arthur Gaze, our favorite gay bear. So unfortunately, he's done a very, very naughty thing, friends. Arthur Hayes, remember he's BitMEX billionaire. This is sad. He has, okay, 3 weeks ago, Arthur Gaze made a presentation, okay, where he basically called for Hyperliquid to do a 130x rally. And, okay, so here's the presentation. He says hype. He's got a 126x price target. You go, whoa, 126x? I guess you'll be holding. Just literally, friends, 2 hours ago, Arthur dumped 100% of his stash in one click. He dumped it all. There you go, $5 million. See that? Click. First, he sold a one lot, then he sold everything. One click. That sucks, man. So, yeah, it's nasty. I'll cover more of it again later on, but just showing you, friends, look, you can do this. You have every right to do this, but also, I've got every right to let everybody know. I'm listening. I've got a fluffy microphone. You're listening. I'm here to cover this information, friends. Finance can be very dirty, friends. People tell you this, you know. By the way, everyone does this, but like, this is just how the world works, man. Friends, like, let's use other examples. Let's say women's products. You know, a lot of women's facial cream and makeup. The creators of these products, like, let's say, friends, let's say there's some woman who makes, like, you know, let's say affordable value makeup, let's say she makes makeup lines for women, like, you know, lipstick and eyebrow stuff and whatever girls squirt on their face, you know, like lemon juice. What else do they put? You know what I mean? Like cocoa cream, all that stuff, right? I bet that billionaire bitch, boss bitch, who actually like made everything, who's got a lot of money, I bet, friends, she's not even using her products. I almost guarantee she's not. She's like, no, that's for poor bitches. You know what I mean? I use like the $8,000 lemon juice. You see what I mean? They all do that, friends. This is how the world works. So they're telling you, no, this is great. It's affordable. It's amazing. Change your life. I'm not using it. You know, that's just it's a sad reality of just how the world works a lot of the times. But, you know, finance is a bit nasty because finance is like the whole game is deception when it comes to these things. Everybody is trying to make you buy and sell. They are, right? They're all trying to make you buy and sell. You know, but then again, friends, like, you know, that's even sports, yeah? Like, even in football, like the guy with the ball or girl or pup or squirrel, they're trying to, like, make you think they're going to go left when they're going to go right. You know, chess, I'm trying to make you think I'm going to move this hand and that hand, you know? That's just how the world works, friends. It's a game. It's a sport, you know? So it does suck that he confirms himself as a gay bear. But, friends, we've known Arthur's gay. We've known he's a very, very, very gay bear. But also, funny, simultaneously, he's made an article, or he did an interview. He goes, yeah, crypto's about to go up only, you know? But then you might say, Sammy, why really would he sell? I'm just going to take one guess. He hasn't said anything. I'm taking one guess. Binance CZ, Changpeng. So he's probably seen Binance Changpeng, CZ, friend of the channel, release Binance ASTER, which is a competitor to Hyperliquid. And then Arthur probably is like, you know what? I'm out. He's like, oh, Binance is going to send, like, you know, the world's #1 volume and exchange. Now they're just going to funnel all their market makers and volume to these decks. No KYC. See us. Goodbye. I'm out of this Hyperliquid. That's probably what he's pretty much doing, you know? So this is, friends, this when I talk to you about big targets or, you know, these people with big targets or anything out here. So I don't know, man. That's why I don't know, friends. The market can have an euphoria in any moment, right? But that's why I'm telling you, everyone has, and you should have, a strong conviction loosely held. Okay, but everybody's definition of loose is different. You know what I mean? Like, some people's definition of loose is like 3 boyfriends. You know what I mean? Other people's definition of loose is like, you know, at least she's, you know, she's above 100, but she's below 500 boyfriends. You know what I mean? Everyone's got a different definition of loose, okay? When it comes to markets, you have to make your own one. Depends how short-term or long-term you're going to be. But that's why a lot of the people who say, oh, Bitcoin can go to, it's going to go to $480,000. Friends, I literally guarantee you, I don't have many guarantees in life. This is how humans work. Friends, people will call, let's say Bitcoin does go to 200. They'll say, oh, Bitcoin's going to trade at 700,000. There's no more 4-year cycle, 5-year cycle. It's broken because we're now in 2026 and everything's going to go up. And I'm not joking. You'll probably see 30 days later, Bitcoin's down 30%. And that same person who said we're going up only, then they'll say, oh, actual bear market started. You know what I mean? So you cannot rely on the word of man or womans. Not just any man, a womans. Okay? It doesn't matter who they are. You can't rely on them. And I know, friends, I listen to these people and stuff. And I know you're listening to me. I do a lot of research and work, but I always tell you, I'm very, very humble. Friends, I just know at any point we could literally get pounded in a non-family friendly way by the market. Check this out as well, friends. So, the crypto average return for Q4. So Q4, friends, the 4th quarter of the year is usually, it's not usually, it is the biggest up pump of the year. Usually because it coincides with crypto, with stock market. But this is the crypto returns, Bitcoin quarterly returns. So right now, Q3 is up 7%. It's been rubbish, 29%. So this year, right? You can see this, -11, +30, +7. These are actually trash. Friends, check this out. In 2013, look what Q1 did. This is a 500% rally, and then Q4, 400%. See how big that is? That's a 6x move and then a 5x move in Bitcoin. Look what 2017 did. 2017, look at these, friends. The whole year was up only 11%, 120%. That's a 2x. 80%, almost a 2x, and then 200%. That's a 3x. That's every quarter, moving left to right. If we go to 2021, now we got scammed by Matt, President G, 100%, -40, plus 25, plus 5, okay? Look at our rubbish post-Bitcoin halving year cycle so far. This is how bad the business cycle's been. We started this year with minus 11, plus 30. Now we're only on plus 7. It's literally been trash. So hopefully the Q4s, right? If you look at the Q4 median and average down here, they're like 80 and plus 50%, right? So the median is plus 50. So hopefully, friends, hopefully Bitcoin does plus 50 from here. If it does a plus 50% move from here, it brings it up to about 180K. But yeah, we'll see. Remember, it can go above plus 50% and then it can come back down to around that 180K when it's at the end of the year. But, you know, we'll see how these things play out, right? Look, friends, just as fast. Look at Arthur Hayes, you know what I mean? Like, just going like, bullish, 120x higher, up target for Hyperliquid. Literally 3 weeks later. Sell, 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 sell. Like I said to you, friends, you don't have to explain anything to anyone. You don't have to, dude. You want to buy? Buy. You want to click sell? Click sell. You're not backstabbing anyone. You don't owe anyone anything, man. We don't know what the hell's going on. You know what I mean? Like, it's tough, dude. It's tough. But I have every right to inform the people, okay? I tell these people, friends, they don't like me. And they'll never like me because I make you smarter. They do not like me, friends, okay? What I'm basically doing is, let's say you're trying to win a football league. I'm like a professional coach who comes out and I'm training their competitors in their league how to be better players. And I'm doing it for free. I'm literally doing it for free. I'm the worst enemy, and they just they'll never like me. I don't care. But I don't want to be liked by people like that. Do you? Do you really want to be liked by scum? I don't want to be liked by scum. Scum likes scum. Scum attracts scum. I don't want them to like me, right? Satanic, demonic, evil, subhuman filth trash does not like the light. Shadows do not like torch. They just don't like it. I don't want to be liked by them. So you don't either. We don't need them. I'm not saying, by the way, it's all a game. We're all humans and clicking buttons and stuff out here, but I like to see myself visually like that. I want to see how am I doing something congruent with myself? You know? And so, friends, I don't hang around people like that. I literally don't. Okay. I used to be like, when you're really like young, when you're just a squirt, when you're like your teenage years, you're like, oh, people can change. They just got to have a few experiences and they change. They don't change, man. You know how many people change? What, like 1 in 100? And yeah, they go through hell to change. Most people just don't change. They don't change. You can tell them to suck on a fat one, friends. Just don't. It's not worth it. Okay? People go back. It's like, friends, most of this stuff that people do, you see, I'm giving you life advice, right? They just band-aid themselves, you know? Like, friends, you ever met narcissists or sociopaths or stuff? They never learn their lesson. What they actually learn is they learn the facial reaction, the voice tone, and the words to say to make you think that everything's okay. Okay? And then when you're not looking, they default to their default state, which is being scum, subhuman, filth, trash again when no one's looking, right? By the way, the whole premise of crypto, friends, the whole premise of crypto, we know this. That's why crypto is a public ledger. Everything's open. We know humans suck. So, well, that's why we're like, hey, we know you bribe and you inflate the money supply and you do all this stuff. That's why we've got to basically put a torch on your transactions all the time. Binance CZ says, we haven't hit a real bull market yet. Okay. I'm not joking, friends. I really think CZ watched my videos where he's probably seen some of my videos and my content on the big business cycle stuff. He's looking at it. It's like, well, we haven't started yet, because this is the thing, friends. People are scared to say we haven't started because they know how historically that is the ushering in of doom. But we have to look at context. The PMI is literally 48 right now. Okay. So like based off all the data, we haven't started, man. We actually haven't started based off all the data. And I know it sounds stupid. I did not think I would be in Q4 of 2025. If you asked me 4 years ago, hey, Simon, did you know you'd be telling people we haven't even started yet in this time? I would have gone back then. I'd be like, just liquidate everything. I'd be saying that. But look at the context. I never would have thought that we could get this long and the prices could be this garbage. But, there's a first time for everything, right? Cointelegraph has done more sponsored euphoria bull posts for Solana, bragging about a tiny potential rise to $300 soy, which is only a 30% move. They also continue to report on Solana treasuries. So this is kind of funny because, friends, you know, Cointelegraph. Shout out to you, baby dolls. They do watch, all of them watch me, pretty much. A lot of them watch me. It must be funny every day watching me call it Cointelesoy. What are you guys doing? But I know what you're doing, by the way. Did you catch it? You see this insight? That means it was paid. Newsflash, that means it was paid. That's why they're doing it. I mean, I'm not dumb. I know they're getting paid. So, like, what are you going to do? You're going to admit you're just a retailer signal, or you're just going to admit you're only doing paid shields? Okay, I got you caught between an unpeeled orange and a hard place. Soy! Eyes, $300. Watch driving the shirt. Friends, it's literally a 30% move. Whoa! 30% move. That's my slippage to get into my shit coins. 30% move, bro. Do you understand how poor the average person is because of how much money they freaking printed in 5 years and they've been lying to everybody? 30% move. The whole reason why crypto is even having a product market fit is because the government lies so much. The hurdle rate needed is enormous now. It's literally 7.25% per year. That's the money supply growth rate. I love his. Michael Chad Saylor has hinted at buying more Bitcoin again. So he's done the orange dots. The orange dots go up and to the right, Laura. So this is Michael Saylor with his... That friends, he buys it every 1 to 2 weeks. His average price is still around... You can actually see it here. 73,900. I think it's going to get above 100K. You know? And you might say, no, but Tommy, it's moving up too slow. Habibi Albi. These institutions are not smart, dude. They're just really rich. Trust me. They have boards. They've got a HR chick. Yeah? They have like that bold haircut Asian kid who's making a report saying, hey, apparently we got to get into crypto, right? They have a lot of these things, friends. When the price goes up, they will get suckered in. Yeah? Ray Dalio is going to come out saying, I think Bitcoin is appropriate for a diversified portfolio. Ray Dalio says that. And then in the same week, Paul Tudor Jones, he comes out and says, the next inflation story is Bitcoin's story. I believe everyone needs a 400% allocation of Bitcoin. So, friends, you understand, when we watch these boomers, you don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But these other funds, when they see Ray Dalio and then Paul Tudor Jones, you know, when they just see them appear in the news, because they respect these news things, you know, these news morning shows, that's they start to go, oh, crap, we got to allocate. And guess what allocating means? It means they go to investors, and the investors are like, okay, we'll buy a bit of Bitcoin, but can we give a couple of dollars to Michael Saylor to get guaranteed yield, where he pays us off in company shares, and we'll basically just liquidate the company if he screws around. That's basically the Ponzi, you know? I explain it for you so simply, but there's steps to go there. That's why no one ever realized at the top you've gone too far, you know? But it's kind of like people with a lot of tattoos, you know? Maybe they get one tattoo on their toe. Then they get one on their bum cheek. Then they get a tattoo of me on like their crotch. Then they get another tattoo of me on the other bum cheek. Okay. Then they get one of my pointy elbows on the back of their leg. Before you know it, you just got, you know, like, hey, you got like 48 tattoos now, right? So it's kind of like the same thing, right? And then they'll run out of space. So now it's like on their nose. Okay. You see what I mean? It's like that. BNB is now only 20% away to flip Tether. Here's CZ's tweet as well. Just to let you know, friends, so CZ, just so you go, even my friend, Mr. 1000X Chris, what are you? So Chris, I just love your username, bro. Chris, you made that 5 years ago, bro. Chris, 1000X. Like, it sounds just so simple, left curve, but it's so amazing just to see 1000X. A lot of people ask me, why is BNB so strong? And also, friends, if every time there's a BNB post or tweet of people celebrating, there's always a comment who says, look into what's really going on. Okay, what do they mean by that? Is just to show you, friends. I've explained this for you before. So firstly, he's ASTER. ASTER literally went up only. But friends, BNB, just to show you, Okay, let's look at the, friends, this is an amazing chart. Okay, this is BNB-btc chart. Okay, friends, BNB, what they do is, remember, everybody trades on the exchange, yeah? So if you're, let's say you're trading coin, let's say you're literally trading chilies, random coins, CHZ chilies with USDT. When people are buying and selling, okay, Binance collects a fee from both legs, okay, which means their fee gets paid in USDT and in chilies token. You get it? So Binance is acting like a liquidity hole, and they're taking all the traders as supply, and it's going to the Binance, their fund account, right? So at the end of like a month, they've accumulated chilies, and they do this for every altcoin. And then what they're doing is, okay, over time, all right, now we can't see this on chain. That's why it's centralized exchange. What they're doing obviously is they're going to every coin that they collect, and they're dumping the coin, and they're funneling the money into BNB. Okay, now I don't have the accounts. I can't see what they're doing. They obviously do it with a bit of Bitcoin, a bit of ETH, but you can actually see what they did is they left a big bid here. This is Bitcoin capitulating. The BNB-btc ratio went through the roof. That's why a lot of people, they accuse Binance of manipulation, scamming, but it's not, bro. It's like, you're trading on a casino. They can do whatever hell they want with their money. And by the way, if you were an investor or investee of BNB, that's exactly what you want to do. You're collecting fees from every coin. You're dumping their coins, and you're buying one coin. Okay, so it's not manipulation or anything. It's just, you know, they could buy anything else. What, would you rather them dump BNB and then cash out? No, it's just, you know, it is what it is. But now ASTER, let's see if ASTER is going to change the game. But just to let you know, friends, as well, look how fast the mindshare went away from PumpFun. You see PumpFun as well. Mindshare gone. All the streamer coins, by the way, are all they're faded off already. They really were celebrity tokens. So where are we going from here? Well, this anti-Semitic box of Ethereum, friends, we just have to extend this anti-Semitism. What should we do? Should we like give it to the end of September? Let's keep making this, keep moving the goalposts. Yeah, it is very racist. I'm not. Look, I don't just know what to do. We don't know what to do, friends. Just keep waiting and waiting and waiting and hope the economy gets better. I mean, that's what they did in the past time. Remember, at one point, Bitcoin was down 94%, and people were like, well, I bought something that just went up 36,000x return, and I bought the top. What should I do? And people just held, and it worked out. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you in the next one.